Welcome back to our personal safety series, Keep It Safe in Smithtown. I'm John Valentine, your Director of Public Safety, and I welcome you here today to share in this information. The information we're about to provide you offer seasonal safety issues that you might encounter on a day-to-day basis living in the town of Smithtown. We hope you enjoy the program, and please share it with your friends and family. Thank you.
Welcome to KISS, Keep It Safe Smithtown. On today's show, Lieutenant Matt Blazing from the New York Department of Environmental Conservation will help us with what you need to know to safely own a firearm.
My name is Lieutenant Matt Blazing. I am with the New York State Environmental Conservation Police, and today we're going to talk about firearm safety. I am a police certified firearms instructor as well as a hunter education instructor.
Firearm safety training seeks to instill a certain mindset and appropriate habits by following specific rules. There are many variations, and one of them is the 4 basic rules.
First is treat every firearm as if it were loaded. Whether it's unloaded or not, in every mannerism and any time you handle that firearm or store it, you are to treat it as if it were loaded to prevent any accidents from happening. To unload a firearm, you point it in a safe direction. Then you remove the source of ammunition. So what you do is you look down, visually inspect the magazine, see that there's no shells inserted. You also feel to make sure there's no shells inserted. And then you repeat that process with the chamber. One, looking, making sure the chamber is empty, and secondly, physically inspecting the chamber and making sure that it's free of any rounds. The second rule is always keep your firearm pointed in a safe direction. Your muzzle should never be pointed at anything you do not wish to destroy, because a firearm is a dangerous implement and it could have ill effects. So again, never point it at anything you do not wish to destroy. The third rule is know your target environment and beyond. When you're afield, the projectile can go a long range, depending upon what you're using. So you want to know what you're shooting at and also know what's well beyond that point. The fourth rule is keep your trigger finger outside the trigger guard. Until you've made the decision to fire, you should always keep your finger outside and alongside the receiver. So in the event of a slip and fall or any other misgivings on the field, you're not going to be able to pull that trigger and negligently discharge the firearm. There are several methods that can be used to safeguard your firearm. First of which could be disassembly, removing certain key operating components from the firearm, whether it be the bolt or other firing mechanisms, and storing them separately. Of course, it's always recommended that any gun be unloaded, and before you disassemble, ensure that it is unloaded. Another item that can be used is a trigger lock. It is a lock that sandwiches over the trigger guard and prevents unauthorized access to the trigger. Another mechanism is a cable lock, in which you lock the action of the firearm open and insert the steel cable through and lock it shut, which prohibits the firearm from being loaded or manipulated. Your first step would be to ensure that the firearm is both empty in magazine and chamber. With the action open, you slide the one end of the lock through the ejection port and up to the loading port, and then secure the firearm. At this point, it prohibits the action from putting a round into battery and keeps the firearm safe. Your other option is you can get a gun locker or a gun safe where you can store multiple firearms and prevent them from unauthorized access.
Gun safety dictates that a firearm should never be handled under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Many states have laws that carry penalties for carrying a gun under the influence. Children who are considered too young to be allowed to handle firearms can be taught a different set of rules, and they are as follows. Stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult. The purpose of these rules is to prevent children from inadvertently handling firearms. We urge parents who own firearms to keep their guns unloaded and locked up, with the ammunition locked in a separate location and the keys to the locked boxes hidden. While a firearm's primary danger lies in the discharge of ammunition, there are other ways a firearm may be detrimental to the health of the handler and bystanders.
Firearms, you're also going to have a loud noise component from the discharge. It's recommended that you wear ear and eye protection when shooting, especially at a range where other people are too. Unburnt powder and shell casings are ejected from the firearm, so you'd like to protect yourself. It's always advisable to maintain a clean and safely operating firearm. If there is a mechanical problem with your firearm, consult a gunsmith and let the professionals fix it. Once you decide to own a firearm, it's your responsibility to understand the operation of that firearm and get training in it if you need to. Also, obey the 4 safety rules. And finally, always keep the firearm secured and away from unauthorized users.
We'd like to thank the DEC and Lieutenant Matt Blazing for their help producing this video. For KISS, this is Kenny Bernardini, and remember, keep it safe, Smithtown.